Okay, test, test, test. 1, 2, 3, test, test, test. Okay.
To align properly. Now that we have power, let's turn on the navigation lights by pressing right, Control, and L. Next, let's close the canopy by pressing left, Control, and C. Our next step is to start our two engines. Before you do so, make sure your throttle controller has a 0 power setting. Start the left engine by pressing right, Alt, and Home. With the left engine started, press right, Control, and Home to start the right engine.
Четвертый. Прошел ППМ 2 на 400. 104. Прошел ППМ 3 на 290.
Okay, so right now I'm trying to fucking figure out how to, Alright.
Один, 02. Ассистент. Разрешаю руление на полосу 26. 104. Прошел ППМ 4 на 300 полсотни.
Well, that was easy. Okay, I got it now. I'm not flying. Just gonna redo it. There we go. Okay.
Welcome to the SU-25T Frogfoot. The Frogfoot, also called the Gratch, is a very capable ground attack aircraft that can destroy most anything on the battlefield. Before we start blowing things up though, let's first learn how to start up this bird and taxi to the runway. The first thing I'll ask you to do is turn on the electrical power by pressing right shift and L. With the electrical power now engaged, you can see that the heads-up display, or HUD, comes to life, as well as many instruments and cockpit lights. Before moving the aircraft, make sure that more than 3 minutes have elapsed in order to let the horizontal situation indicator gyro to align properly. Now that we have power, let's turn on the navigation lights by pressing right, control, and L. Next, let's close the canopy by pressing left, control, and C. Our next step is to start our two engines. Before you do so, make sure your throttle controller has a 0 power setting. Start the left engine by pressing right, Alt, and Home. With the left engine started, press right, control, and Home to start the right engine. Off the lower left corner of the TV display is the engine gauge, with needles marked 1 and 2 for the two engines. When an engine is being started, one of the two green lights below the gauge will light. Once the light turns off, it indicates that the engine is ready for operation. In the lower left corner of the dash is an aircraft symbol that indicates the status of your flaps, landing gear, and air brake. Lower your flaps to the takeoff position by pressing left shift and F. We're now ready to taxi, so slowly increase the throttles by moving your throttle control forward or pressing page up. To reduce throttle, use your throttle controller or press page down. To use the wheel brakes, press W. Start rolling forward and turn to the left at the taxiway ahead. Press Z to steer left and press X to steer right.
102. Ассистент. Разрешаю руление на полосу 26.
Nice job. We're now heading in the right direction. Keep your taxi speed around 10 kilometers per hour as indicated in the top left corner of the HUD. As you taxi, use small, smooth rudder corrections to keep you aligned on the center of the taxiway.
Пошел ППМ-4 на 300 полсотни.
At the fork, hang a right to reach the runway. As we taxi, you can go to external view by pressing F2 and return to the cockpit by pressing F1. You can zoom in and out using the keypad star and / keys. Rotate the views using the keypad directional keys. We've now reached the runway threshold. Taxi onto the runway to the right and align yourself down the length of it. Once aligned down the runway, increase thrust of both engines to maximum and use gentle inputs on the rudder, X and Z, to keep you tracking down the center line. When your airspeed, as indicated in the top left corner of the HUD, indicates about 250 kilometers per hour, gently pull back on the controller and allow the aircraft to fly itself off the runway. Don't yank the controller back to force the aircraft into you. As mentioned before, your airspeed in kilometers per hour is indicated in the top left corner of the HUD. In the top right-hand corner of the HUD is your altitude in meters. Between the altitude and speed indications is your heading table. With positive climb established, raise the landing gear by pressing G. In the center of the HUD is the pitch and roll indication, and along the right side of the HUD is your pitch ladder and vertical velocity indication. Go ahead and raise to flaps by pressing left control and F. This concludes this lesson on starting up the SU-25T, taxiing, and taking off. You can end the lesson now by pressing the escape key.
Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Скорость предельная. Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Скорость предельная.
Wow. That was crazy. Oh. Wow.
Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Предельный угол атаки. Предельный угол атаки. Предельный угол атаки.
Oh, man. That was intense.
Welcome to this lesson on the basic flying and navigation of the SU-25T. This lesson will teach you how to get from point A to point Z and all points in between. I currently have the lesson in active pause. If you wish, you can turn on cockpit lighting by pressing L. Your airspeed is indicated in the top left corner of the HUD. The horizontal line below the airspeed indication with the caret below it indicates your acceleration or deacceleration. If the caret is on the left side of the line, you are deaccelerating. If it is in the center, your speed is not changing, and if it is on the right side of the line, you are accelerating. The smaller number above is your set airspeed for that leg of the route when you're in navigation mode. Press the spacebar to continue. Your altitude in meters is indicated in the top right corner of your HUD. An R to the right indicates it is radar altitude, or height above ground, and not barometric, height above sea level altitude. The smaller number above is your desired barometric altitude for that leg of the route. Press the spacebar to continue. You probably notice a circle in the center of the HUD. This provides you course steering to the next waypoint. By flying the aircraft to align the circle in the center of the bank and pitch indicator in the center of the HUD, you will reach your next destination on the course line. The course line is the direct line between two waypoints. Press the spacebar to continue. In the bottom center of your front dash is a horizontal situation indicator, or HSI, that looks like a compass. The yellow needle points directly to your next waypoint, and the top left field indicates the range of kilometers to that waypoint. The top right field indicates your course bearing to reach the next waypoint. The double white needles points to your course intercept. When you're on course to the next waypoint, both the yellow and white needles will align. Press the spacebar to continue. Ahead of you are a series of gates to fly through. Fly through the first gate directly ahead of you. You can push the control stick forward to push the nose down and dive, or pull back the stick to raise the nose and climb. These inputs control your elevator. Use the throttle, or page up and page down, to control your thrust. Try to keep your airspeed around 620 kilometers per hour. Press the spacebar when you're ready, and I will unpause the lesson. Note that when you pass through a gate, the next one's sequence will become larger if it's rather far away. If you get too fast, reduce the throttle and toggle your air brakes by pressing B.
Okay. There we go.
Переведи в набор. Переведи в набор.
Oh, shit.
Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Скорость предельная. Скорость предельная. Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Скорость предельная. Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Скорость предельная. Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Предельный угол атаки. Предельная перегрузка. Предельный угол атаки.
Well, that was fun while it lasted. Alright, well, thanks for watching and peace.